Kyle Murphy of Wells Fargo Capital Finance. There's a definite theme here of money on the table with all these interviews. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, Jeff. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you here. Why don't you first tell us about Wells Fargo Capital Finance? Wells Fargo used to hold my mortgage, but I'm sure that's not your group.
No, it's not. Wells Fargo Capital Finance it's essentially a wholly owned company of Wells Fargo. It's a finance company, so we're providing asset-based lending, factoring, different specialty lending products to companies throughout the nation.
In what categories?
I mean, it's across the board. I mean, we're lending to manufacturers, distributors, technology companies, software companies, you name it. Pretty much across the board.
And what you're doing in capital finance is?
I'm on the loan origination side. So we're talking to different management teams, different private equity groups, all kinds of different referral sources, be it investment banks, CPAs, and things like that, to solicit business and see what we could provide.
How long have you been doing it?
I've been doing this for probably, it's actually going to be 3 years on the 19th. I've been with Wells Fargo Capital Finance. I started on April 19th of 2010.
And were you doing this before?
I was doing asset-based lending, but I was more on the portfolio side at a smaller shop down in Connecticut. I moved into the originations role when I was approached with the opportunity, probably about three and a half years ago now.
How many people are in your group?
Wells Fargo Capital Finance total, I want to say maybe, I don't know, 2,500 people. We're headquartered in Santa Monica. We have offices, major offices in Boston, New York, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Santa Monica. And I think total, there's probably around 2,500 and change.
When you work on a deal, how many people work on a deal on average?
Well, I mean, you have the originations team, you have the underwriting team, and then you essentially, once the deal closes, you have the portfolio team. So it could be anywhere from, on the front end, maybe 5 to 10 people. Once a deal closes, it's essentially transition to our portfolio team.
And why don't we go through what your typical role would be on a deal?
Sure. Basically, you could think of me on almost the very front end of the deal, on the front end of the transaction process. So my role is to bring in new business to the bank, right? So I'm maintaining relationships with different management teams, different, whether it's a CEO of an organization, CFO, controller, treasurer, and I probably maintain relationships, probably several hundred at this point. I'm working with the geography, including the entire Northeast down through the Mid-Atlantic, so everything north of Virginia and east of Pittsburgh and West Virginia up through New England. So we're talking to some of the larger companies there. I'm in the lower side of the middle market, so we're focusing on companies probably between 30 million and about $250 million in revenue.